to believe that the reason why we don't have a lot of Muslim anti-feminists coming to speak out is because the general notion is still that we as Muslimin are just naturally, like, of course we don't follow the feminist movement. So I would like to believe that, and I think, maybe certain regions that might be the case, but it's becoming less and less the case. So now is the time, and I can just speak for growing up in the United States. I feel like almost the norm has now become more of a feminist perspective. So it makes me sad, and I feel bad and almost like evil and wrong, because people want to make you feel evil and wrong for speaking out against like these popular imams. But I literally went on their website, and it's a problem. As someone who suffered from this delusion that they feed into you, like, I don't know that I explicitly would have said it, but almost like as a woman who got married, you feel like you're God's gift on earth as a woman. You're made to feel that way. And like you can't be challenged, and like this whole idea of being submissive and obedient is so foreign, and it's not. When did anyone in any of these situations talk to me about my responsibilities? Very rare, very rare. I won't say they never did it, maybe a couple things here and there, but was it stressed? No, not by any stretch of the imagination. It was not stressed. How to be a good wife, how to be an obedient, submissive wife. Nope. How to be selfless, how to let go of yourself and your, quote unquote, this whole rights culture. Where did this come from? You know what I mean? Where did this whole rights culture come from? It's all about my rights. The issue with women's suffrage and why women didn't want, and I think this should become common knowledge. This has to become common knowledge. Why was any woman opposed to the idea of wanting a woman to vote? Because they were self-hating and they hated women? No, because the family unit. It was about the family unit, and the family had one vote, with the man as the lead and the man as the head. Common sense. Basic fitrah. And it's just like you have to go back and unwire yourself. The reason why I bring up Pearl, so she had like an episode where she was talking about how she was pretty much dissing, just completely dissing, and I don't agree with that attitude towards it. Dissing towards women that, like, maybe in their minds, or they kind of feel like they want the traditional lifestyle. They want to be stay-at-home wives. They want to be stay-at-home mothers. But then when they go ahead and do it, they end up miserable. They end up just completely miserable. And, she's like, and she played a video, I guess a clip of a woman who did that, and then like in her 40s got divorced. And I definitely don't think that it's uncommon, right? And the way she explained it, and 100% I agree, like women will say like, I lost a part of myself. So essentially what she's saying is like they were denying the fact that like they're so selfish and so wired to be selfish that even though they thought they wanted this role, when they went and did it, they couldn't give up certain things. They couldn't, the whole idea is, you're going to have to give up parts of yourself. You're going to have to give up parts of your life. And like, for sure, part of the joy and the beauty from like an Islamic perspective is learning to love that. Love. And it builds love. When you sacrifice something, your comfort, for your spouse's comfort, when you go and make him something, do something for him, folding his laundry, like whatever it is, like it's an act of love. And if you can embrace that versus feeling resentful. So I agree that we are wired, and this is something that I had talked to my husband about like before obviously watching this clip. Like for me myself, like I was wired to be a selfish feminist. That is how we are raised. It is just the air we breathe as we grow up. And my whole thing now, and this is what I've been talking to him about and what I've been working on for myself, is unwiring myself, figuring out where are the places that I fall short. Like even to this day, and I'm very conscious and I'm very aware of the things that trigger that inner feminist. Oh my God, I hate that word now. I hate it. Get out of my life. You've ruined my life. So, like certain things, like being obedient to my husband, right? I'm not gonna lie, like for simple things, okay. But the less simple it is, or something that maybe I don't agree with, obviously that's gonna be harder. SubhanAllah, I feel like marriage, it's half your deen for a reason. Like you're learning to let go of your ego, which, yeah, this society would blow their mind. That's actually what you want, is to let go of your ego and to learn to let go of your ego in this hyper individualistic society. But in Islam, that's a huge part of being a good person. Oh, curbside pickup. Oh man, I thought it was a spot, but it's a Mini Cooper. Okay, I have to drive all the way back around. So I agree with her in the sense that, yes, we have been wired in this way, but she almost makes it out to be like, oh, it's completely hopeless. Don't even try it because you're going to end up miserable and divorced because you're denying a part of it. You're denying your selfish reality. Like, what kind of message is that? I don't fully understand. So I half agree with her there. I agree with, I'm glad that she's bringing that up. But what's the answer? Like, she pretty much says, like, listen, if you're not cut out for it, she's like, some people want to be mothers and wives and housewives, but they're not cut out for it. So they shouldn't do it. I think we should be more vocal, open the discussions, and work on it. Like, I'm not giving up. I left my job as a doctor. And it's funny because this woman that was talking about how miserable she was at the very end of her video, she's like, would I do it again? She's like, heck yeah. Because she got to raise her kids when they were little, and she was talking about, like, they didn't get any sort of baby food that wasn't homemade. Like, she got to enjoy the benefits of raising her own children, which is huge. I can tell you that as a mother. It's unbelievable. How could you possibly regret staying home with your kids? She would do it again, even though she ended up, quote unquote, miserable and divorced in her 40s. She would do it again, right? That speaks volumes. And again, these are all things for us to work on. And my hope with a lot of this is just being able to share these things, open these discussions. We have a beautiful, amazing deen that we can always go back to, and just teaches us how to succeed in this life. And inshallah ta'ala in the next. And I'm hoping that, I can share some of this. Others can share with me what their stories are, what their reflections are. The hope is for us to benefit together and to grow together into the best Muslimin that we can be. That being literally the purpose of our lives. All right, I will end it here. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.